Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, which is all about planning our content for the month ahead, which obviously is going to be for the month of November. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Sarah Thompson, and I am a specialist advisor and trainer with Business Station, and I've been with them for the last 2.5 years. And I think in that time, I've probably seen over 1,000 businesses one-to-one and probably even more through workshops and webinars like this one today. Now, at the end of today's webinar, I will be giving you a little bit more information if you're interested in working with someone one-on-one through the Digital Solutions program, which is what you're coming through today. But just to focus on what we're coming up with today, I have popped a link in the chat to the work that we're using in today's webinar. And if you want to print it off, you can do that, or you can just have it as a digital copy, or I will be sharing my screen, which is also a screenshot of the workbook. So you don't necessarily need it to be printed if you don't have access to a printer. If you just scroll up, the link is there, Howie. So if you just scroll up. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Today's webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be sent to you all as webinar attendees. And if you didn't attend, obviously you're listening to the recording now. And I'll make sure that they send a link to the workbook as well. I'm just going to pop it in again, so in case you can't see it there, it's right at the bottom. You should be able to see it now. And with our webinar, you don't actually have the facility to chat, so you can't unmute yourself and chat. So if you do want to speak, you'll need to pop it into the chat bar and I'll be able to see it there. Today's webinar is a working webinar, which means that you're going to be very focused on content planning for your business. So there's going to be sessions where you're going to be writing and I'm just going to be sitting here quietly. But if you'd like to share anything, you're welcome to do that. Now, anything else I need to tell you? No, that's it. Sorry, it's been a hectic day today. All right, so I'm going to just share my screen. Oh, sorry, there is something. The webinar is recorded, so just in terms of your privacy, just to be aware of that if that's an issue for you. But webinars are less intrusive than workshops because you don't get all the chat with them, so that's all good. All right, so I've taken a screenshot and shared my screen to the handout, which you should all have access to in the chat. And I will just open the chat so I can see it here. And as I mentioned, today is very much going to be focused on you planning your content for the month ahead. And it's really important that you keep that in mind, because it's not you sitting listening to me for the next hour, although I'm happy for you to do that. I'd rather you didn't. So this is the, why is the link not in anyone's chat? Let me... Sorry, can everyone see it now? Because I've posted it to everyone. I posted it to the host and panelists before. My apologies. So hopefully you can all see that now. Oh, good. Sorry. What an amateur. I do know what I'm doing. All good. Okay. So hopefully you've all got the link now, and I will just give you a second to print that off so you've all got it. So I'll just speak to this briefly. So with the handout, each part of the handout you're welcome to complete as you go, or as I said, you can print it out, whichever is more convenient for you. And with the pages, I have numbered them, so if you get lost at any point, you can find out what page number you're on and we can work through it there. So everyone's got it okay now? Yes, all good. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the current view, and this is really about what has happened in the last month in your business. Now, just so you're aware, I run these webinars every month for Business Station, and I find that people start to get into a little bit of a groove and a rhythm in terms of writing their content and planning it out. It's much easier when you have a focus. And I always like to start it with having a look at what has happened in our business over the last month. Now, I've only put on here Facebook and Instagram, simply because those are the social media tools that I use the most. But it really depends on what you use. So if you use LinkedIn a lot, you might want to add some statistics for that. So different social media depending on what you use. Is anyone else having trouble downloading it, or is that just you, Belinda? Can anyone else say? Same. All right, what can I do? So you can't, I think it's because you're looking for your computer. 2 secs, let me just grab another link because it should be on my Simplero. Let me just grab it here. Apologies, it should be a shareable file. Can you try that one? Hopefully that will work now. Sorry. All right, great. Yay. All right, so, oh my goodness, chaos and anarchy. All right, so on the first page, we're going to review how your social media has gone for the past month, and we're going to take it from there. So if you want to review Facebook and Instagram all in one shot, the easiest way to do that is to go to Facebook Business Suite, which is the screen that I'm on now. And what that actually does is, if on the left-hand side, you go to Insights, and it'll actually give you the data for both your Facebook and Instagram all in one snapshot. So I can see my reach on each account. I can see, if I scroll down, my likes and my followers. So Facebook Business Suite, and then I go to Insights on the left-hand side is where I find that information. So I'm going to give you all look, 1 or 2 minutes just to find some of that data to complete it on the first page of your handout. If you can hold on, Howie, we're going to work through the workbook together. So if you can just stay on page 1, and we'll work through it together. So what part to look on? So on Business Suite, just to answer your question, you go to the left-hand menu called Insights, and that's where it's got a summary of your Facebook and Instagram in terms of your reach, in terms of your content, and in terms of your followers. So that's Facebook Business Suite, and then Insights on the left-hand menu. So I'll just give everyone 1 more minute to get that bit completed. Now, while you're all doing that, I will just let you know, I love Business Suite, because one of the things they've introduced to this is they allow you to actually set some goals. And what you can actually do is, on here, you can set how many people you might like to reach on social media, and sort of set yourself a goal. I think that should have been 5,000, not 50,000. And, you know, work towards that, which is really helpful as well. So a bit of fun there. All right, so that's our kind of setting our scene, and it's great. It's always worth tracking every month to see if you're improving, particularly if you're going up in terms of your likes and followers. I always like to see those numbers tracking up. Now, the process of content planning each month is really important, because what it does is it gets us to move away from sitting down at our computer every morning and trying to write a post and feeling like overwhelmed and uninspired. Now, the reality of it is, on social media, people don't see all of the content that you create. And if you have a business that's like mine, and this is very common, we have lots of different components to our business. So in my business, I do one-on-one advisory, I do online workshops, I do webinars, and I do face-to-face workshops. And then on top of that, I have a Facebook group where I run free classes. I have online courses in marketing, Facebook ads, Canva, Instagram. If I tried to tell my audience about all of those in a month, they would be completely overwhelmed by, like, what on earth do I do with that chick? And also feel like they don't know what it is that I'm trying to talk to them about, because there's too much information. So what we want to do is break down our month to have a theme to it. and be really concerned with that theme being very consistent. Okay, so what I want you to think about is during November, what would you like to be promoting? Now, I use this exact strategy in my business, so I'm teaching you what I do. So I would let you know, if you have a product-based business that will sell products at Christmas, your theme for November should be gift giving. Okay, so be really clear about that. So I want to give you a couple of minutes, and I'm going to work through this together, but I'll just I want you to write here, what would you like to be promoting? And then I want you to think about describing this product or service, because if you can't describe it in a couple of words, you're going to struggle to write social media posts. So during the month of November, my theme for the month is Facebook advertising. I'm going to be talking about it the whole time because I'm running a Black Friday promotion on the 26th of November. And I'm also running a Facebook ads bootcamp for 5 days from the 22nd to the 26th of November. So I have a very clear idea in my mind what it is I'm going to be talking about and what I'm going to be promoting. So I've got an understanding of this product. What do I need to tell people? And finally, what are the inclusions? So I know the dates of my bootcamp, I know the cost of it, and I know the timing of it. So I want to give you probably 5 minutes to fill out. We're only going to be on page 2, so please don't move ahead. Stay on page 2. And someone said, if you don't have any products, you must have services. Otherwise, you don't have a business. You don't have products or services. I'm not sure what you're selling. So it is never a struggle because I don't have any products in my business. I am a service-based business, and you can always talk to people about a theme. So if you're struggling with that, the person who asked me that, I think it's Katie, put it to everyone. You're welcome to share with your business and I can give you some pointers. But for everyone else, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to fill out page 2. Please don't work ahead, because the more time you spend on this, the easier it's going to be as you write your content for the month. Okay, so hopefully you've all got some ideas written down, and I just want to be really, really clear. And thank you so much, Katie, for sharing. She says she's a copywriter and content writer, and what often happens is we have this big bundle in our business, and people kind of, it can actually be very difficult for people to understand how they work from us if you go, oh, I'm a copywriter, because actually what they want to go is, tell me what it is that you do. So if you can talk about, and I put some ideas in the chat, let me write your content. I have a package that's a 6-week content writing that means that all your content over Christmas and January is done for you. So that giving people very specific ideas on how they can work with you makes it easier for them to understand what it is that you do and how you work with them. And when we're in service-based businesses, if we don't break this down, it becomes kind of like, oh, so that person does like digital marketing, and it becomes this big thing, and they're kind of like, she kind of does everything, so I'm not sure how she helps me. So when we can break it down into very specific packages or offerings, it makes it easy for people to understand that. So hopefully you've all got a few ideas written down on the first page, and we're going to now move on to page number 3, but we're going to work through these in a way that makes sure we add plenty of detail to each question, because this is really, really important in terms of writing our social media content. So I want you to start with, and please don't work ahead. Question number 1 is, what does someone need to know from you before they buy? Okay, so here's some ideas that I want you to think about, and then I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to write some answers in this. People want to know. So if someone wants to work with me and they think, oh, that Sarah from Online Social Butterfly seems good, they maybe want to know what my qualifications are, what my experience is, what other people have said about me. They might want to know how they work from you. So is it, can I come and see you in person, or is it all online? Like, how does that work? So they want to understand some of those mechanics. If you have a product-based business where you ship people out, people want to know the cost of shipping, your returns policy, your guarantees, all those kind of things. So I wanted to give you 4 minutes, and I only want you to ask question number 1. I do not want you to rush ahead, because the more detail you put into these answers, the easier it's going to be for you. So we're going to have 4 minutes to answer question number 1. Okay, so that's our first question, which is a really good question to think about. Okay, now our next question actually comes down to, why do they need to buy from you and what problem does it solve? Now, this one, again, I want you to spend a little bit of time thinking about, because it's really easy to kind of say, this is why people buy from me, and we actually don't dig into what's going on underneath them. So people with my Facebook ads course will say, oh, I just want to be better at ads. They'll give you like a really surface level answer as to why they buy. In truth, what you need to connect with is what is keeping them awake at night. So here's the thing about Facebook ads. People like go, what if I run an ad and I don't know what I'm doing and I wake up and I spent $5,000 on my credit card and the money's gone? Or what if I keep running ads and they're not successful and I don't know why and I don't know what I'm doing? And what if I look stupid and unprofessional? So what I want you to think about for this question number 2 is, I want you to think about the problems that you solve for people. Like, what is worrying and how are they feeling and what's keeping them awake at night? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to fill this out, and I want you to kind of connect with some of those feelings that your audience have expressed an issue with. Okay, so that's question number 2, thinking about the problem that we solve. Now, I want you to think out with question number 3, what outcome are you hoping that your audience will get from this? So how are they going to feel once they've purchased it? So if you are promoting during November Christmas gifting, remember some of the things you can talk about, that it's going to feel great, that you're not rushed, that you're not worrying about Australia Post, that you're not under pressure to hit the shops when they're busy. Those kind of things people love. Now, if we go back to my business, and I was talking about Facebook ads as my focus for November, if people purchase my course, what are they going to feel? They're going to feel confident that they can run Facebook ads, that they're going to have success that other people are having, that they understand the tech, and that they feel like they know how to do it, like they've got the skills now to do what it is they need to do. So they're going to feel kind of that sense of confidence and achievement and like capabilities and capable. So those are some of the words that I want to use in my online, what I want to do is give you 3 minutes, and I want you to write some of the outcomes that people are going to feel. And also remember, if people have worked with you and they've said, oh, when I got you to write my content, it felt like a big weight had been lifted off me. So those kind of language that people use in your audience. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to write some of those for question number 3. Okay. Now we're going to move on to question number 4. And this is a really good one because it's something we often don't think about. And it's really good to write social media posts around this, is what objections do people have around purchasing? So I'll come back to my example. Remember, I'm doing Facebook ads for the month of November. And here's reasons why people don't purchase online courses. They're scared they won't have time to complete it. They're scared of the commitment involved in it. So when I have those objections, what I can do is I can counter those and say, oh, when you buy this course, you get lifetime access to it. So people are like, oh, cool, I'm not under any pressure. And then you can say something like, it's broken into 8 modules and each module's got like 20 to 30 minutes of tutorials. So it's easy for you to chunk it and find time in your day. So you can see how those objections allow me to create a counter argument that I can write posts for. So I want you to think about in your business and your theme for the month, what might people object to it, and what are some of the counter arguments you can have? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to write some of these. Okay, so that gives us a little bit of a, all right, so that gives us a little bit of a background on thinking about our theme for the month and thinking about our audience. So we're going to move on to page number 4 now. And what I want to do is work through some of these so that you have some really solid ideas in terms of working with content. So content idea number 1 are testimonials. Now, testimonials are so important on social media in terms of social proof. Now, I have a really good habit of when people write nice things about me, I take screenshots of them and stick them in my phone. I obviously also have Google and Facebook reviews, which are really helpful. And if someone writes a comment in my group, I'll try and snap that. So I've got them handy. So with your theme for the month, I want you to go and I'm going to give you, for the first content piece, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that because I want you to go and look up on your Facebook and Google reviews if you have any reviews that relate to this month's theme idea. And also want you to have a quick look through your socials and see if anyone has commented on your theme. So content idea number 1, we're actually going to take 5 minutes to do that because I want you to go and find some testimonials related to that. So we're all going to sit tight and give you 5 minutes to complete that exercise. Okay. So with content idea number one, testimonials, hopefully that's given you enough time to go and find some in your socials and etc. Now, content idea number two is all about behind the scenes. And I can't stress how much people love understanding what goes on behind the scenes in your business. So I have a think about, if you're a service-based business like me, this can be quite boring, but I can't tell you how much people love to see you at work with little, time-lapse videos, that kind of thing, scrolling to see what goes on inside your business. And if you have a product-based business, well, you have all the cool stuff because you can do packaging and unpackaging. So I want to give you just a couple of minutes to do behind the scenes. And Beck, I'm going to answer your question in the written word. So I'll give everyone a couple of minutes to work on behind the scenes. Okay. So we're going to move on to content idea number three, which is all about a quick tip that is related to the product or service theme for the month. Now, remember, the more you can demonstrate your expertise, the more likely people are to buy from you. So it's really important that you have to be willing to give them free tips. And I love this anyway, because it often helps people kind of go, oh, okay, that's where I need to head. That's what direction I need to go in. So don't be afraid of quick tips and think about how you can use them in your business. So remember, if you have a product-based business, people love tips on how do I use this product? How do I store this product? How can I get the most from it? So there are lots of tips that you can use either way. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write some quick tips, and then we're going to move on to idea number four, but don't rush ahead. Okay, so we're going to move on to our last content idea, which is either writing a blog post or a long article or story in your social media. So what we're thinking about is 300 plus words here. So this is where you can really share some of your expertise and your knowledge. And you can even do an opinion piece. So it doesn't have to be based on fact, or you can talk about something that might be a myth in your industry and what your thoughts are on that. So I want you to spend a couple of minutes writing down some ideas for this, because remember, the more you can show your expertise and knowledge, the more people are likely to buy from you. So think about, what do people ask you? What do people want to know? And how can you turn that into like a good piece of information? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. Now, I hope that's given you lots of content ideas for the month ahead. We're going to have a look now at what we've got coming up in terms of themes for the month. So we're moving on to page 5. And I'm going to just talk through these, and I'm going to give you a chance to write down some ideas. So in November, we always have, every month has lots of special days. And what I've tried to do is pull out some of that I think are really important or that might be of interest. If you ever want to know what's coming up, there's a website called daysoftheyear.com, and I use that a lot. And it shows you the themes for the month and themes for each day. And some of them may or may not be relevant for you. The other thing I like to always look at, and I'll just scroll down a little bit, is what's coming up for November and December. So in November, we have coming up Melbourne Cup on the 2nd. We've got Thanksgiving, which is an American holiday, but sort of permeating more. And we've got Black Friday, which is all about sales for Black Friday. So those are all coming up in November. In December, we obviously have our summer holidays, which seem to be endless, that go for all of December and January. We've got Christmas Day, and then obviously Boxing Day sales. And we also have New Year's. So those are lots of great ideas for you. So what I want you to do is just spend a couple of minutes and have a little look through some of those ideas and write down some that you feel are going to appeal to you or your business or work for you that you'd like to use. You don't have to use all of them. So just take a couple of minutes. And if you can write them down and link them to your business, like Entrepreneurs Day would work for me because my audience are small business owners. So I could talk about that as a theme day. And so write down the theme and write down how you feel like you could link it to your business. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. Okay, so if I can get everyone back to me for these last few minutes of the webinar today, I just wanted to wrap up with a couple of things. Firstly, as I mentioned, the tools that I've shared with you today, ones that I use in my business. So I do content planning every month and I create themes and I make sure I have my content planned out. Now, there are different ways in which you can apply this content planning. I actually, and I have it booked in for this Friday, I take a whole day and I actually write all of my content and schedule it for the coming month. And I do that really because I get very busy and I find it hard to come back to my content during the month. And I kind of I've got my content plan document and I know where I'm going. So it's just a question of writing it. And I find once I get into that creative flow of writing, I'd rather sit and get it all done. But it's really up to you. The other way that you can try it is to take your content planning workbook that you've got from today and sit down maybe once a week on a Sunday and write your posts for the upcoming week. So you've got your themes and your ideas. Now, if it doesn't appeal to you and you want to sit down every day and write them, what you can do is get your content plan. Okay, I know what a theme is for the month. I'm just going to write a post today and I haven't done a testimonial. Maybe I'll do that, or I'd like to do a tip or a behind the scenes. And the idea is the content plan will give you that guidance. So you're not sort of staring at a blank screen, lacking ideas, and also feeling overwhelmed that you have to share everything in your business with everyone all the time. So I hope you have enjoyed this process. And as I said, it's a class, this webinar, I run it every month, and it's definitely worth coming back to each month because I have people that have been coming for like 3 or 4 months that absolutely love it. And it is a process of allocating a time, 1 hour in your diary to sit and plan your content so that everything becomes a whole lot easier. Now, just to wrap up, if you're interested in working with myself or one of the other advisors through Business Station, there are a couple of ways in which you can do that. So to be eligible to work with us, you have to have an ABN that is registered in WA, Queensland or NT. You have to employ less than 20 staff, and your business has to be a for-profit business, which means it's not a not-for-profit. So if you are eligible, you can register and you get, for $44, you get 7 hours of one-on-one support, and this can be in person or online. So if you are interested in that, if you go to the Business Station website, and it's businessstation.link/register. When you are sent the recording, they will also send you the link to register for the advisory service. And if you have an idea of what it is that you would like support with, you can write that in there and they can match an advisor with you to best meet your needs. If you would like to work with me as an advisor, my name is Sarah Thompson and you can specifically request me. I only have capability and I usually book out, so I am booked out for the month of October. However, if you're happy to wait for November, you can request me for the month of November. But if you have something, you don't mind if it's me or someone else, you just need help with Facebook ads or whatever it is, you can put that in there and then we can match you with the advisor that most meets your needs. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming along today and also for participating. I hope that you have found the session useful. And remember, you will get the recording if you need to replay it and listen to it again. But if you want to connect with me on socials, I'm Online Social Butterfly on Facebook and Instagram. I love to see how you're going and how you're moving forward with your content planning. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much.